Okay, guys, I have no idea what I'm doing here. Evidently, I am going live for my first live stream. I had some technical difficulties with the phone this afternoon, and so I'm going to have to figure that out this evening. It's late in the day. It's 7:15 my time. So at the house, just ate dinner, and I thought, well, I want to get something up to all of you today. I don't know how this will come across. Hope the sound is okay. It could be a disaster, so if it is, my apologies. But you know what? I speak live in front of people all the time. I argue cases in court, so it's good with me. I need to understand this part of the process of YouTube, and I'll start implementing this if it's something that you guys like to see. Anyway, long day today. Preparing for a deposition in the office. 7 hours about on this one file. Got the workout in this afternoon, of course, and just thought I'd get home tonight, upload a late video. I had some decent materials to cover today with you all, and it did not happen. So I can't even read the screen, guys, now. I'm sorry. I'm really kind of blind. A lot of years of reading fine print. So if I don't respond to who's here, my apologies. I'll wear my other glasses. Next time I do a live stream, they're at the office. So anyway. So look at, we got, well, anyway, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching the videos. The channel is growing. Appreciate each and every one of you. And I appreciate all of you guys sharing, the material with the people, our family, our friends, our coworkers, our colleagues that, need to hear this stuff because we're coming into some difficult times. I believe as 2024 unfolds, 2025. So let me cover a couple of stories that I thought were important today. Obviously, the CPI report was released, the much anticipated report, and it says this is out of Reuters, it says stubbornly high rental costs lift U.S. consumer inflation in November. So we had the bad type increasing. Things that we all need every day to survive, to provide for our families, is going up. It says consumer price index increases 0.1 in November. CPI advances 3.1% year-on-year basis. Core CPI rises 0.3%, up 4% year-on-year. That's out of Washington today. U.S. consumer prices unexpectedly rose in November. It's always unexpectedly, right? As a decline in the cost of gasoline was more than offset, it says, by increase in rents. Further evidence that the Federal Reserve is unlikely to pivot to interest rate cuts early next year. Look, tomorrow's the FOMC meeting. I believe it's the last one of 2023. And, I don't know what's going to happen, but it seems to me that the Fed, with this information, they're not even close to their 2% inflation target. They are going to, from my perspective, stay the course. They'll probably pause tomorrow again, but I don't see anything on the horizon that would justify what the hopium stock market is pricing in, which is a Fed rate cut going into next year, first quarter of next year. I don't see that happening. It says the report from the Labor Department on Tuesday also showed prices for used cars and trucks rebounded last month after 5 straight monthly decreases. So now automobiles, used car prices are going back up again too. That's great. Helping to boost underlying inflation. U.S. consumers also paid more for health care and motor vehicle insurance. So rents are up, health care insurance costs are up, and health care costs and auto insurance costs. All those things are things that we all need in our to pay for as part of our monthly expenses. And those things are not going down, guys. This is ongoing housing price pressures and their outsized influence on inflation overall tell a large part of the story of why calls for early and rapid Fed monetary policy easing should be viewed with significant scrutiny. And this is from Kurt Rankin, senior economist at PNC Financial in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So again, the stock markets are green today again. They keep marching higher. From my perspective, this is happening based upon the the market's pricing in a Fed reversal of course, a Fed pivot, and rate cuts starting in early 2024. Here we go. Food prices rose 0.2% after gaining 0.3% in October. Grocery food prices ticked up 0.1% amid rise in the cost of cereals and bakery products, as well as fruits and vegetables. It says meat, fish, and eggs, however, cost less. Okay, that's good. Maybe that's a silver lining, but bread, bakery products, cereals, staple items are higher. It says in the 12 months through November, the CPI increased 3.1% after rising 3.2% in October. Economists polled by Reuters had forecast the CPI would be unchanged on the month and gain 3.1% year-on-year basis. So the economists, I guess, got it wrong. So pay attention to this stuff. It says excluding the volatile food and energy components, CPI increased 0.3% in November after climbing 0.2% the prior month. Like we said, rents lifted today's core CPI number, and that's not good because people are struggling. They're struggling to pay rent. They are, from my perspective, many people are coming up against a brick wall because we know that wages and people's salaries are not keeping up with inflation. There's a delta, there's a difference, and there's a shortfall. And so as we talked about yesterday, people are having to go and borrow money out of their 401ks to provide basic necessities for their family. They're having to go and pull money off of credit cards and run up credit card debt and max out their credit lines to pay for these basic necessities. So I wish there was better news to report. It's not trying to be doom and gloom. It's just the reality. And pay attention to 2024. Pay attention to what happens tomorrow with the Fed and how this impacts the markets. I wouldn't be surprised if the Fed is a bit hawkish in the comments. Hawkish meaning that they indicate or telegraph, if you will, or foreshadow that their intent is to stay the course until they get inflation down closer to this 2% target range that they have. I got a bunch of friends and buddies in the stock market, and these guys are, they're every day, the Fed's done raising, Fed's going to pivot, it's over. But look, that core inflation number was hot today. That's not what the Fed needs to see or wants to see in order to announce a reversal. Last item I want to address with you today, we're in Christmas season, right? So what do families do when they have young kids? They have young family members, nieces, nephews. They buy toys for them, right? That is the giving of toys during Christmas. I got to believe for the toy companies, it is the most prolific, and it better be the most prolific and profitable time of the year. So here we go. Out of Zero Hedge, and this is yesterday. What strong consumer? Hasbro lays off, what strong consumer? ? Hasbro lays off 20% of their staff on plunging toy sales. And this is an announcement that's made in December. This has got to be the heaviest time of the year for toy companies. Hasbro is a major toy manufacturer. It says, the reality is that parents can no longer afford to buy presents for what is or should be the most precious to them, their children. Take the news just out of WSJ that toy-making giant Hasbro is laying off 1,100 workers, with CEO Chris Cox citing weak toy sales and games that persisted into the critical holiday shopping period. It says the layoffs, which account for nearly 20% of Hasbro's workforce, were noted in a Monday memo that the CEO sent to his employees, which was viewed by the Wall Street Journal. The slump in sales came after sales hit historic pandemic-driven highs, which melted into holiday season challenges, which are expected to continue into next year. Here we go. More telegraphing that 2024 is going to be ugly. Of course, pandemic money was falling out of the sky, and everyone was going and doing all this stuff, buying all of these items, and now they just can't afford it. The market headwinds we anticipated have proven to be stronger and more persistent than planned, which is what this Hasbro's CEO says. While we're confident in the future of Hasbro, the current environment demands that we do more. And that, by doing more, he means firing his people, laying them off. I sure hope that you guys aren't employed by Hasbro or find yourself on the short end of that stick getting that email during the holiday season that you won't have a job next year. I discuss a lot on this channel about starting your own business. I've got some negative comments or critical comments that it's a terrible time to start a business, things are going down, and people should be pulling back. You know, if you look at some of the most successful businesses, guess when they were started? They were started during very, very rough economic times, depressions, recessions. So no, is there a guarantee you're going to succeed? No. Do you have to work extra hard at your own business? Yes. But if you can swing it, if you have some ideas, some skill sets that allow you to do it, and you can start small, meaning do not get indebted, do not take a second mortgage on your house to fund the business, do not go pull credit card lines to fund the business. Start small and cash flow the business, but try your best to have and create a separate income stream for you and your family. I think that's really, really important. And the way I see it, the tougher economic times get, the more important this is for all of us. I know other people have had different positions. I've seen some videos last couple of days from some larger channels saying now's the time to pull back and lay low and see how this all unfolds. You have to be smart about it, obviously, but now's not the time, from my perspective, to pull back. Now's the time to charge. Now's the time that we need the people that have done the right things. Hopefully you've worked on your credit score, you've kept your debt levels low, you've kept some dry powder. If you have, now's the, well, I'll say now, but certainly unfolding into next year and the year after, the opportunities will be abound, I believe, in real estate, in stocks, in vehicles, in other types of asset classes. Says the announcement on Hasbro came just 2 weeks before Christmas, as toy companies enter their busiest time of the year. According to the report, Hasbro warned in October that they expected to see a 15% slump in sales this year after previously forecasting 3 to 5% decline. This came on the heels of posting its fourth consecutive quarterly loss, thanks to a 10% drop in Q3 sales. So they missed their mark. They were anticipating 3 to 5% decline, and now they're expecting 15%. So that is a 300% miss by their own executives. So, you know, what does that mean is they have people doing this research, but what they cannot forecast is how weak, and what these companies don't understand is how weak the consumers are and how this thing is imploding at a rapid pace. So again, sorry to report negative news over the holiday here, but it is the reality. It's something that we all need to be watching. There was some other news today. I just didn't have a chance to print it all out and go through it to share with you. Again, I hope the live stream is not awkward and the sound's okay. I'm sitting here on my couch at the house. Milo didn't start barking. That was great. He just ate his dinner, so he's probably taking a nap. I'm going to grab my dinner right now, and I have to work on another file for about an hour and a half before it's lights out for the evening. Again, when you have your own business, there are no days off. You don't clock in, clock out. You don't put your 40 hours in and go home and sit on the couch. You're always, you know, putting the effort in. And so keep that in mind. But I think that's the spirit that we all have to have right now, is it's time to start charging. If you're not able to do that, if you're not able to start charging, if you have some issues with your credit, if you've been struggling, making ends meet, just keep, the old saying, keep chopping wood. Stay the course. Do everything you can. Pick up the extra overtime if you can. Understand that things will get better. It might get worse for a while before it gets better, but I think it will improve in the future, certainly. So I don't even know how to sign off on this thing. I'm going to hit the little X on top of the screen here. Hopefully it doesn't delete the whole thing. I hope the 90... Oh, I got 90 people, I guess. That's pretty cool. So you guys are amazing. This has been a fun couple of months for me. I have no plans to stop recording these videos, hitting the record button, and trying to share with you not only current events as they unfold, but also give you a little insight into my business and what I do as my day at my 9 to 5 job, so to speak. Hopefully, you guys pick up some tidbits, and I have some knowledge and wisdom to share and impart with all of you. Again, we're going into critical times. I was talking to a good friend of mine today and a client who is a very successful guy, but things are tightening up in the real estate market, especially in the commercial space and certain sectors. And I'm not going to obviously go into too much detail about that, but people that have enjoyed major success over many years are understanding. Some people are understanding what's coming their way, what's coming all of our way, and they are buttoning down the hatches. Things are changing rapidly on the ground. So with that being said, again, I'll sign off this live stream. I think I can convert this, I believe, to a regular post once the live stream ends. I'll have to figure that out. If any of you know how to do that, post a comment for me. And this is a learning process for all of us. So once again, thank you. I know it's later in the day. Thanks for tuning in, and talk to you all tomorrow, assuming I can get my technology glitch worked out. And if not, you'll have to probably deal with me for another live stream tomorrow afternoon. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.